Here is my 5 things that preppers should never do. Let's check it out. Right, I just put the water on for a brew. Now today's video is just an informal campfire chat about my top 5 things that preppers should avoid doing or should not do. Now there's loads of videos on YouTube listing out what preppers should and shouldn't do, and this is just my take on the don'ts. Yeah, you'll see some prepper channels telling preppers, whatever you do, don't show all your preps, isn't it? Don't show what you got. Someone might come around your house and take what you got, but it's very highly unlikely. And if it was an SHTF situation, it will total breakdown society. People go ransack houses, whether you're a prepper or a postman, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter what you got in the house. If it's there, they'll get it. And you'll see some videos telling people, you know, don't show what you buy in the shops, don't dress like a prepper, whatever that is. Secret squirrel. So these are just my 5 things, 5 realistic things I think that preppers should avoid doing or should not do. Before we get started, just a quick thanks for taking the time out to tune in and watch the videos. And if you haven't done so already, please think about hitting the like button. It all helps the channel. So yeah, my top 5 things. So I'll start off number 1 and obviously work up number 5, with the 5th one being a bit controversial perhaps and may upset a few certain people here on YouTube. That's if they watch the channel, that is, and that's probably highly unlikely, so we can say what we want, can't we? So that water's come to the boil. I'll quickly make a brew and then we'll get into it. Hot chocolate. Oh yeah. Now to add a bit of spice, I've got some of my miniatures I've robbed out the stores. Fireball liquor mixed with cinnamon whiskey. Give it a go in it. Oh yeah, very spicy. Say when. That'll do. That's half the bottle. Christ. Let's give it another shake. Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, definitely added to it. Oh yeah. Right, my number 1 of 5 things that preppers should never do. The number 1 is buying kit and not testing it. You see people buy loads of kit collectors I call them, which is nothing wrong with it. I sell kit, but do you test it out? Do you actually test it out in the field, in all the weathers, you know, in the rain, snow, heat, whatever it is? Do you take your kit out that you bought and test it out? Now why would you want to do this? Well, just think of a scenario where you've had to put, say, your bug out bag, if you're bugging out, or your home water filter, whatever. You've got it nice and clean, it's brand new, it's in the box, but when it comes to use it, will it work? Will it do the job it's designed to do? So whatever kit you're buying, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy kit, but what you should do is test it out, isn't it? Whether it's your emergency torches, whether it's your bug out bag, whether it's your camping equipment, whatever it is, what you shouldn't do as preppers and survivalists is buy the kit and not test it out. Simple as that. Now here at the bug out, I buy kit in for the shop and obviously for myself as well, but what I do is test it out. I won't have it in the shop unless I've given it a bit of a test. That's what the channel's about, really. What you don't want to do is when push comes to shove, for whatever reason, you grab your kit that you've got to use it, and it doesn't do the job. Yeah, you were in shit straight then, pardon my French. So number 1 on my list of what preppers shouldn't do, and that's buy kit and not test it out. Oh, it's a bit strong. Right, so there's number 1. So what is my number 2 on the list of 5 things that preppers shouldn't do? Well, number 2 is ignoring skills and fitness. Now what do I mean by that? Well, it goes hand in hand with the kit that you bought, really. Have you got the skills to use it? You know, you might have bought a map and compass. Can you navigate? You might have bought bushcraft knife for starting fires. Can you actually do it? You might have bought bug out bags, inch bags. Have you got the fitness to carry it over certain distances and terrains? Now in a grid down situation, SHTF, life's going to be a lot harder, isn't it? Everything you do is going to be harder. Whether it's getting water, food, keeping yourself warm, dry, protecting yourself, everything's going to be that much harder, isn't it? So one thing you shouldn't avoid is your fitness and your skills. Your life may depend on it, mightn't it? Yes, they might have all the kit, all the gear, like I say, but do they know how to use it? So there's one thing a prepper should not do is ignore learning skills and keeping themselves fit. Now, I'm not saying you should do a 10-mile tab every week or go for a 3-mile run every morning, bench press weights and all that sort of palaver. It's just keeping yourself generally fit and well, isn't it? So if the worst does happen, you've got a better chance of surviving if you keep yourself fit, plus you've got the skills to survive. So yeah, my number 2 on my list of 5 things a prepper should not do, and that's ignore fitness and skills. Now number 3 on my list of 5 things a prepper should not do is again with the kit, and that's wasting your money on gadgets and gizmos you don't need. Now there's all sorts of gadgets and gizmos out there, aren't there? You know, especially when it comes to outdoor living. Your battery powered insect repellents, you know, your torches of 1,000,000 candles, plus all the expensive clothing and equipment. Just think of the acronym KISS, and keep it simple. When it comes down to it, really, survival is having food, water, shelter, some sort of medical equipment, and maybe defense, in a way of defending yourself. That's basically it. So if you break each one down, food, what do I need long term? Food on the move, way of cooking the food, preparing it. Cups of water, water storage, water filtration, carrying water, shelter, how do I keep myself and my family warm, dry, out of the elements, medical equipment, first aid, if you hurt yourself or someone hurts themselves, get injured, how do you treat it, how do you stop infection, major things in a SHTF situation, isn't it? And then of course defense, how do I defend my home, you know, my location, my family. And that's basically it. You don't need to go out and spend thousands of pounds on things you don't need. Here at the Bug Out, you won't find many gadgets and gizmos that you don't actually need. I just try and stock things that meet them 5 elements. Like I say, food, shelter, water, medical, and defense. So there we are, that was my number 3 of my top 5 things preppers shouldn't do. And that's don't waste your money on gadgets and gizmos and kit you don't need. Oh yeah. Right, number 4 on my top 5 things preppers should not do, and that is don't feel like you have to survive on your own. Now there's a few out there, lone wolves. I know a couple myself, and fair enough to them, yeah. They think they can take on the world, John Rambo style, and survive whatever comes their way. And if they do, good luck to them. And if they need any supplies, they know where the Bug Out is. But you don't have to be alone. There's more preppers and survivalists out there than you realise. And at the moment, here at the Bug Out, we're forming communities all over the country, whether it's Scotland, the North, South East, South West, the Midlands, or Wales. Here at the Bug Out, I'm putting people together in their local area to form communities. So that way, if there is a total breakdown in society, you're not on your own. If you need some help, there's community out there that can help, isn't it? There's no need to be out there alone. When we was talking before about the 5 elements of survival, I suppose you could add community to that as well, can you? Whether it's a small community, you know, family, friends, or it's a wider community where you can meet people at certain locations, because you may need help with shelter, medical assistance, food, water, no matter what it is, you may need help, and also someone might need help off you. Don't go into thinking that to survive, you've got to grab a Bug Out bag, head for the hills, head for the forest, bash her up underneath a hedge somewhere, and then wait for it all to blow over. Some might want to do it, but to keep any sort of civilization going, we've got to form communities, aren't we? That's what I believe anyway, and that's what we're trying to do here at the Bug Out. So number 4 on the list, it's not that complicated. Preppers should not feel that they have to survive on their own, and instead get out there and form communities. You know what? I might just add a little bit more. Oh, that warms you up. So there we are, guys, nearly at the end of our list of our top 5 things that preppers should not do. So just for a recap, number 1 was don't buy kit and not test it. Number 2 was do not ignore the importance of fitness and skills. Number 3 was don't waste your money on gadgets and gizmos and kit you don't actually need. And number 4 was preppers should not feel like they have to be on their own, but rather form like-minded communities. So what is number 5? Well, it's something you see a lot at the moment, in the last couple of years, few years, and it's everywhere. That's preppers, plus people in general, is not waste their time and spend too much time listening to all the fear. It doesn't do any good, does it? Now on YouTube, there's a lot of fear mongers out there, a lot of clickbait, just to get you to get onto their channel, their videos. There's a certain prepper channel overseas that, you know, according to him, World War III is going to start every day. And it's not just overseas, we have preppers in this country doing YouTube channels. And you see the clickbait and the fear. It's all about fear, the bad stories, nothing about practical prepping solutions. It's just about fear, fear, fear. Fear sells, isn't it? And unfortunately, most of these prepper channels have got an ulterior motive, haven't they? They're either selling something, they've been given something for free to sell, they're trying to get subs, they're trying to get views, they're begging for money, donations, whatever it is, there's usually an ulterior motive, isn't it? Which is no good for anybody. So what people want to know, apart from the news, is what we're going to do about it. You know, what can I do about it? You know, how can I do this? How can I do that? What's the best solution for this? Now, like I say, it is good to keep abreast of what's going on, but let's not take over your life, isn't it? Don't let it take over everything you do. Life is way too short to spend it all in fear. Like I said before, fear sells, isn't it? And when people are scared, they'll believe and do anything. We've seen that a couple of years ago, haven't we? You can't control everything that goes on in the world, but what you can control is what you and your family can do yourselves, isn't it? How you can prepare for whatever comes our way. So if you're wasting your time engrossed in that fear, that time can be better spent storing, prepping food, making sure you've got enough supplies at home for whatever happens. Now there's a saying, isn't it? Which is don't be scared, be prepared. It's just the way I see it. You know, I don't think it does anybody any good, just the constant fear-mongering, clickbait, and then fear, fear, fear pushed at people. I can understand why they're doing it, selling tack or, you know, try and get people to donate or whatever it is. But that's not what I do. I sell gear, not fear. Oh my God, that's strong now. So there we are, guys. There's my top 5 things that preppers shouldn't do, and that's buying kit without testing it, ignoring fitness and skills, wasting your money on gadgets and gizmos and kit you don't actually need, believe you are on your own, and then the last one, number 5, listening and giving in to the fear. Now, if you've got your own suggestions to add to this list, please put them in the comments below. It's always interesting to see what you think. But that's the video, that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, please think about liking, subscribing, hit the notification bell. And if you want to see some more videos, check that one out and that one. And I'll catch you next time. All the best.